So in the last class we are done with the views. Now today we'll have to focus on analytical privileges. Say I have this view, I just take in a view. Just removing this filter. So when I try to see this view, it does show me data for multiple countries here. It has got data for multiple countries. But I would like to control the authorizations so that now it is actually showing me data for all the countries, right? I would like to control authorizations to an user so that he does looks when he looks at this view, he should see data only for GB bus, Great Britain. Yeah. See, do we have this country? So I want him to allow to see data only for country GB. Yeah. So how do I do this? So this is more like similar to your analysis authorizations in BW, or when you in BO you call it as row level security. When you want to control the row level security or data level security, then we go with this. So right click on the package, say create analytical privilege. We'll see two things. One is static and one is dynamic. Static. And I see someone logged in as waiting for name. Please do log in with your name. Yeah? I'll just wait for another 2 minutes, otherwise I'll be disconnecting it. So I just create new. So on which information model do you would like to apply this privilege? You can select multiple views also, but I'm just choosing one now. First case I'm going with fixed value. So this is my analytical privilege name. Do you want this to be applicable for all? No. So only for these. You can still add it from here also. You can add multiple other views here. Then here you specify the validity of this. So from which date to which date this validity should be there. I'll say greater than, I give some date. And then on which attribute do you would like to build the authorizations on? I would like to control authorizations on the column country. Then for which value of country do you would like to provide authorizations? Say fixed value equal to, or you can say in list or equal to, greater than, whatever it is. Now which value of it? It will be GB, Great Britain. Then activate. So I've created an analytical privilege on this view. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go and assign that to the user. So let's create a user who will have access only to this package, and then we control the privilege also for him. So let's create a new user. So new user, let's say B10. Okay. Then basically I would like to provide certain object privileges to him for this schema, like I'll give him underscore sys because the runtime objects will be in underscore sysbic, and he should be able to select on it, perform a select of that. Then underscore sys bi schema Again, select on this. And also we were using these tables from schema called cubex 10, right? So you should have access to that schema also. Again, you should be able to read from it. Next is, I was majorly using the tables from this schema, SAP underscore HANA underscore demo. So I'm providing authorizations on this schema also. Good. In the object privilege, you control what schema objects you can have authorized to. Then in the package privileges, you provide for which package you want him to have access. I don't want him to everything, so I want him only cubex 10 PK package. Yeah, we can give more. I'll come to that. Next one I'll go with dynamic. Session is recording. Yeah, it is going on. So I'll take cubex 10 package, and on this package you should have authorizations to read, and you should be able to grant to others also, edit also. Are you giving full authorizations of this package? To edit and import also. So I've given him access to this package, fine. Now let's see what is the problem still. That something else is missing. So I try to log into the same system with a new user bus. Add the same system with different user. New user B10. First time when I'm logging, it's asking for the change of the password. Now done. So I have this new user. Now when I go to catalog objects, he just gets to see sysbi, sysbic, and then the cubex 10 HANA demo, because I just gave authorization to the schemas. Now when I try to expand this content, look at this, it still says, I know still you get this problem. Insufficient privilege, execute on repository rest. It doesn't have that, so let me again change this. So I'll go to this role. You will have an object privilege have to be provided on repository. You will have an object called repository rest. Okay, you got to provide this so that you'll have access to that repository. So execute. Now let me just log out and log off, log off and log in. Now when I expand the content, he gets to see only one package, cubex 10 PK. Now within the package, you can access all the modules. Now when you try to see this view, is getting to see data for. See, it says insufficient because there is an authorization object created on it and not given yet. Now let's provide that also. Now for the same user, you have just created analytical privileges, right? Just get it analytical privilege, then provide him that authorization object. Z AP static underscore this was on. So I'm just providing them with that authorization object, nothing but the privilege. Now let me just refresh, and then now when it tries to see the data for it, he's got authorizations available for him. So he's able to see data, but he's able to see data only for which country was GB. Like this, we can use authorization object to control the row level security or data level security like this. Okay. You said you wanted to give multiple values, right? I can still do that. I can change this privilege. You wanted to provide, let's say add. Let's say I would give him even US also. I change the privilege. Now let me refresh this user again. When this user is trying to see the data, so he gets to see data for two countries. One is US and GB. So like this, you can give multiple values also. See, the values in on the same field will never be AND. It will be OR. Okay. When you provide multi list of values on the same column, it will be OR, not AND. So here we have logged in with the new user B10 and we are using some UID to edit and see, this is my main user. I am controlling the authorization object with this. And I've assigned this authorization object to this user and showing you because I just create new user so that you will get the feel of it that the authorizations are working on. Okay. Can we create new calculation view? Yeah, you can create. Okay. Okay. Now I just want to have a dynamic authorization object. Say for example, I have a case where so for example, I have a case where I've got multiple users and I've got multiple countries. So in the real time, they give you some list of users and they say each user should have a different set of countries, right? They say user one should have something. They'll say user one, user two, user three, and so on. They say this user should have US, this user should have GB, this user should have India also. So if this is the case, I can't go about building authorization objects for so many. I can't go about building analytical privileges. Let's say if I have 100 users and 100 countries, I end up creating 100 privileges. I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to make it dynamic. So what I'll do to make it dynamic, what we'll do is we'll create a table which will have user and the country. We'll create a table which will have the user and the country, and then I'll create a procedure which will basically take the login user, and based on the user who's logged in, I'll get the username and go to this table and get the country from this table and then assign that country to dynamically. Like this, when you want to provide dynamic authorizations based on the user who's logged in, we can also create your analytical privileges by using a stored procedure. This is what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay. Using filters. How will you achieve same thing with this reverse? Say if I apply a filter with GB and give that view to a user, and what about the other user bus? Even other user also will get to see only GB. I have one view which is giving data for multiple countries and each user has to see different countries data bus. In that case, if you have to apply filters, you end up creating so many views, right? For each country you end up creating views. Now why should I do that? Yeah. So I'm logging with system user and so I'm just creating some table. I'm just creating some table with just two columns, user and the country. And then I just trying to insert some three records. But here I'll say new user B10 is my user, where I'm giving him US is fine, okay, or we give him Mexico, okay. So I'm just inserting three records into this table with each user having different values. You can just look at this table data. three usernames and the country. So I'm just creating a procedure here because here when I need to use a procedure for dynamic authorizations or privileges, I must have a procedure which returns a table type. So what I'm doing, I'm just creating a table type TT with only single column because it is going to return me countries, because it could have one user might have multiple countries, right? So I'm just creating a procedure out itab country, same as my table type with single column, language scripting, all this. I'm just saying itab country is equal to select country from this table where my user is equal to session user. Session user nothing but the user who is logged in. So whoever the user is logged in, I take that username dynamically with this function session underscore user and use it onto this table to get the respective countries and assign to this table itab country, and itab country will be written out from this procedure. Okay. So this is my procedure. Done. And then what are the authorizations you procedure have created? You must provide authorizations to sys repo user so that he can execute the procedure and give control that authorizations. Now let me create that privilege. Now the same privilege what I have, I am trying to get in. Instead of saying fixed value here, remove this, and say add. Instead of saying fixed value, you can drop down. You can say procedure from catalog or procedure from content folder. I would like to choose a procedure from catalog. Procedure from catalog, and procedure is going to return single value or multiple values. It's going to return a temporary table, so it returns multiple. So I'll say in. And what is the name of your procedure here? So from the cubics 10, this is my procedure. So now the values in the analytical privilege is not fixed. It's going to execute the procedure based on the user who logs in and then shows him the data. Now let's log in with new user B10. We gave it as Mexico, right? Now let him go and see the data in the view. When he tries to see the data in the view, he will see only for Mexico. For system user, I gave it as US. Now when system user looks at this data, when a different user looks at the data in this table, is getting a, because I did not assign this privilege to this user. But like this, we can even control dynamic authorizations also, or dynamic privileges by using the stored procedure. Okay. So this is what I want to touch, and then this is how you basically control the users in HANA with data level security. Okay. That's what on privileges. Okay. Next, we'll have to get into the concept of decision tables. Can you send this code along? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Next is about decision tables. So in HANA, we have the concept of decision tables here. There are two purposes you can use the decision table. One is for update, one is for what if analysis. Now one is for update in the sense, let's say I have a table. Let's say there is already some data in the table, and I would like to update this table out. When I say I would like to update, I would like to modify the records in the table. So do you know which SQL statement do we use when you want to modify a record in a table? Yeah, update, right? Good. So we use an update statement. We use the update statement to alter the record in the table. Good. Now for an end user perspective, altering a record in a table with writing SQL would not make sense. So they can use the decision table concept and basically go about building up the specifying. They'll have a graphical mode screen where they can specify the logic for the update, and based on that it formulates a procedure which can perform the updates, and then we can do the updates in the table. That is one. And then when you want to do what if analysis, let's say I already have a table with some set of values. I just want to see if I increase this by 10%, what could be my revenues? Or if I increase this by 20%, what could be my revenues? Then once I do that, I just want to compare with the actuals and the forecasted values and then do a what if analysis. Yeah, that is what we can do this with decision tables. Now let's take that. Mm, hmm. Let's say I have this table. Let's have this table with order ID 1, 2, 3, and 4, and each of this belongs to different product. And then I've got price 10, 12, and 14, and 16, and there's some quantities. Uh, what I want is now I've got price with this 10, 12, 14, and 16. I would like to update this table by incrementing that by, let's say, by 2%. I would like to say update this record in this table where my price is equal to existing price, increment that by 2%. When if product is P1 or P2. For P3, I would like to increment that by say 4%. For P4, I would like to increment that by, let's say, 6%. I have this requirement. So I can even do that with a normal update statement. For more like a power users, like say, you can also build it, use the decision table. Decision tables demo. Okay. Now let's see how do I create this new. I'll say decision table. ZDT 10. One is for update. ZDT 10 update. Okay. Now this is how you get into decision table. Then similar to other views, you will have data foundation and decision table here. Now when you go to decision table, it says decision table must have at least one condition and one action. First, so go get into data foundation. Specify the table on which you would like to do this. Decision. This one. I am just using it for 9 qubit decision table demo. So what all these columns. Now what is that you want is you would like to modify the value of price based on the product, right? So select product and price. Once you get both of them, now which column values do you want to modify? Price, right? So price is set as action. So right click on the price and say add as action. And you would like to modify the value of the price based on the value of product. Select the product, right click and say add as condition. So set up the condition and set up the action. Now go to the decision table. Now it shows you a table like format where it says for which product what price do you want. So start selecting the products. I want all this four. Add condition value. So I get all the four products P1 and P2 and P3. Now for each of this P1 and P2, P3, what is the condition you want? You can what is the logic of building this? You can say set dynamic value and write your condition. I would say select price, say into something, say price. Let's say I'll just, you can build up any formula. Price into I would like to increment that, right? I'll say price plus into 0. Say 0.2. Okay. Same thing. I'll say set dynamic value. Just say price into plus price 0.04%. Say alt enter. Set dynamic value something price plus into 0.06 something. Set dynamic value price into 0.08. Say alt enter. Now you set up this. So you just made up this condition. If the condition is nothing, you want to leave it blank, then at least you got to put, oh yeah, you're not modifying anything, you can just leave it blank. Then this condition will not come. So when I basically activate now, system is going to create a stored procedure now for you. What is this name? ZDT10 update, right? Now if you go to sysbig schema, it creates a procedure for you. Because all the runtime objects will be in sysbig, right? So go to sysbig. If you go to sysbig schema, I should see a procedure with the name ZDT underscore 10 underscore update. So you see a procedure. Now I can see, look at the definition, the code, what is formed. Can you understand this code? Now look at this. Look at this code in the process. This procedure was generated automatically, and look at the code. Update this table, set price equal to, and there is a case statement. And the case is what? When product ID is equal to P1, price plus price into 0.02, then if it is P2, then so on so on. We could have written this procedure directly, boss, if you're good at scripting. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you see, the table is still not yet changed. The data in the table is not yet changed. It is still 10.2, 12.2, 14.2, 16.2. Okay. Now, when will that change? When I basically trigger this procedure. It's a call, and then we trigger this procedure out. Then execute this. Now, once it is executed, now I should see the changes in the table. See, were there some changes in this price? Yeah. So when I execute the procedure, it is going to trigger that update statement and modify the entries in the table. Okay, boss, got it. Okay. So this is like one way of using decision table for doing an update. Okay. I still have that requirement of next one. Next, we would like to show what if for simulating. Yeah? Mm, I would still use the same table. Decision tables demo. Okay. Now I've got some price and I've got some quantities first. Price into quantity will give me amount. Yeah? And I have some discounts here, 0.4, so and so, so and so. And I would like to derive new discounts and see what could be the revenues. Okay. So what I'll do first, I'll create one decision table which can give me simulated discounts for me. Still going with decision table demo. Here I would like to take all the columns so that I can just take all the columns and map it, and then I can compare this. So this place, I don't want to use this discount. I would like to create a new column as a new discount bus. You can say new. I would like to create new parameter. It's a new discount, and there will be a decimal. So 10 up to, okay. And this I would like to set that as action. So I would go to set the values for it based on the product. So based on the product, I'm going to set the discounts. I'll let set this discount as something, say something like 5 rupees here. Say 5 and then say all 10 rupees. Then here I would let set some discount as something like 6. You can write a formula or some values, anything. Okay, then let me just activate. So when I try to see this decision table, it does give me the data along with the new discount. So we have this normal columns because I've selected them, and I also have the new discounts. Okay. Then what I'll do, we can use this decision tables into my calculation view also. So let me create a calculation view where I take both the tables. So let me take the projection of table 1, which gives me I'm just only worried on order ID. Then I want price, quantity, and then discount. So I want to calculate column which says A amount. Then I'll say decimal 10 of 2. I would say price into quantity. Minus discount. Okay. Same way I would like to take the decision table which gives me the new discount. Then DT underscore 10 underscore. So when I say decision table, I'm going to use this column view which is created at the top in the sysbig schema. Okay. So I'll say order ID, price, quantity, and some new discount this time. Critical. Uh, Set derived amount. I'll say price into quantity. Then give discount. This time I'm using a new discount, and then I just want to compare both of them. Just take a join. So join it on the order ID. It's fine. I just want order ID, old amount, and derived amount, nothing else. Add as a normal output. This is aggregated column. This is now this would give me for an order what was the actual, what is expected, what was actual thought of. So this is the actual ఇదే తక్కువ ఉంది. Yeah, because discount ఎక్కువ ఉంది. So if the discount was the other one, the old one, this was the amounts, and if I increase my discount, this was going down. So I can have what if analysis comparison with simulating decision tables. These are two purposes. You look at your decision tables. Okay, nothing else. So we cannot use decision table directly in the calculation. We only have to use yes. Only column view is used. That's it. So with this, we are done with the modeling. Now we'll have to start with the data provisioning. Can you share this deck? I already shared it right long back. That is the same deck I've been using from the first day of the class. Okay. Now, so we're done with the modeling now. So two things we have done. We have learned HANA as a database. We have learned HANA as a modeling environment where you can do slicing and dicing on the tables and build the projected columns what business user wants as part of modeling. So you are done with HANA modeling and you have learned HANA as a database. Next is about data provisioning. So for people from BW can understand data provisioning as extraction. See, as part of HANA, when you use HANA as a data mart or HANA as a database, what is it you're trying to do? We are trying to replicate all the data from different source systems into HANA, store that into tables. On top of these tables, you go to build up your virtualization models, which will be your calculation view, your attribute view, your analytical view, and expose them for reporting. That's it. So till now, what we've been doing is we are just considering there is already some table with some data, and we have just kept on using those tables for building up scenarios on modeling bus. So we never wanted to focus on how those data was being replicated, right? We're not worried on that time. Now we're focusing on how do we bring data from different source into BW. That's the point of focus for data provisioning. Similar to your BW, how do you dealt with extractions? Similar here, now we like to deal with how do I get the data from different source systems into HANA. That is what we call data provisioning. There's one way. One option is about importing from flat files. One option is about using SLT, site-based replication server, SAP landscape transformation. And then there's something called direct extraction, DXC. Or I can also leverage BODS, which is an ETL tool for inserting data into this. Or we can also have an option of using smart data access. And we also have flexibility of smart data quality and integration. So either of these options I can leverage to extract data from different sources and load into HANA bus. Now each of this mechanism will have some pros and cons and limitations, or may not work in so well when you work with SAP or non-SAP sources. That's what we'll have to see. So can you please show how to leverage hierarchies in modeling? I showed how to create hierarchies, right? Now when we go to reporting, I'll show you how to consume those hierarchies. Don't worry. But now you know how to create hierarchies. Now we'll see how to consume those when I touch on the reporting part. Okay. In the view, I'll touch, of course. Don't worry. At least I'll show you how to consume those HANA views in the universes in view. I'll just show you. I'm going to teach you the in-depth tools, but at least a little bit what I know. Yeah. So this is what we're trying to look at, was. We can finish up this importing of flat files now for now today, and tomorrow our focus would be on either of this. Now I thought my intention was about tomorrow is Friday, right? So you can finish SLT based of starting. Tomorrow it's better we will touch DXE. On the weekends we will touch on SLT and BODS. Okay, so then we should be done by Monday on provision. Let's finish up this. Importing from flat file is pretty simple. But in the real time, we really do not use this mechanism of importing. This is only for prototyping we use it, okay? Say I have some, I don't know, where do I have my files? I think it's in a different server. Let me just take simple one and then show you because it is. I'm just Excel workbook is fine. See, I never had a table. I'm just straight away through import, it creates a table automatically. I can say file, import. I would like to import the data. So you have HANA content, export HANA content. I would like to import the data from local file. Say next. So next, and select the Excel. And say it has got header rows, yes, and import all the data. Do you want to import into a new table or existing? So I can just, if there's an existing table already which is ready for this, I can use existing table. Or I can say, I'm going with a new table. I'll say cubex 10, right? Cubex 10, new import. Okay. So that's a table name. It is automatically proposing the columns. Okay, you can define the key if you want something here. If you want, you can change the description, head, title, heading, all this. This is a column store table. It's creating. Okay, next, and then finish. That's it. Importing is done. Now if I go to my schema, cubex 10, I should see a table called new import. See, I see a table new import with the data already. This I can do import from the flat files, whether it is Excel or TXT or CSV. If you go to file, import, data from local file, it will ask you whether, depending on the file what you choose, CSV or XLS, you can choose and then select that. But this is whatever I'm showing you, that is only for prototyping. You never really do that in real time. If there's some small tables where you're using as parameterized tables or something, you can import it like this, but this cannot be scheduled in the background. If you want to do a daily scheduling of the data coming in or data provisioning, this is not the case. This is only for prototyping. Can we use BW to push the data into HANA? Yeah. I'll come to that. First, let me finish HANA. Then we'll discuss on the combination of BW on HANA. Okay. First, see, you already know BW. First, let's finish off with HANA. Then we can combine those two and then we can talk anything, okay? I don't want to hurry up now. Don't worry. I'll touch all those concepts of BW and HANA. Don't worry. Do you have any concept like process chain in HANA? No. We see. You're asking, do you have any concept like process chain in HANA? No. But you can create your jobs and schedule the jobs also. We can have job scheduler in HANA, but generally they don't even use that. They use some third-party tools to schedule those jobs in HANA. Okay. Anything like AL11 is nothing but your repository. So HANA will have its own repository. Server you can play through FTP. I can use WinSAP or whatever it is and transfer the files into HANA server, and from there I can pick that up. Okay. This is like just simple flat file imports you can deal with. So we'll stop it here, and tomorrow we'll be getting into DXMs. Before you come to tomorrow's class, please make sure you read through this and come. If you go to Google, so it will be, I can finish it up faster. One day we can finish up the DXM. Because see, all the data processing techniques, there is no logic bus. Only magic. It's only about the fixed steps what you do, nothing else in this. So if you get into SAP HANA, direct extraction, you can say direct extraction, and you put as PDF, okay. So you have a PDF which is an implementation guide, which actually gives you clear-cut steps about what all configurations are required. See, I'm not just going to touch on the steps. Tomorrow I'm going to show you along with configurations. Let's say you're given with HANA and the SAP ECC. What all configurations do we have to do in each of the system to enable for DXC? Once it is enabled, how do we load? That's what we're going to focus. So before you come to class tomorrow, if you can look at this PDF, because this is a PDF for configuration. So I'm going to follow this PDF and then do all the configurations and then show it to you. So if you can just look at this and come, that will be easy. So tomorrow we'll touch on DXC, and in the weekends, one day for SLT, we may not finish in one day, but my focus is about finishing SLT and DX. SLT one day, BODS one day, Saturday one and Sunday one. Yeah, then we are pretty much in line. So just go through this document before you come in. SAP HANA direct extraction PDF. Okay, fine. I know we have not sent yesterday's video. I'll send it both today. Fine. Thank you, boss.